Welcome back. Last time we looked at the upcoming issues of life, and specifically we were talking about the LGBTQ, and we talked about what it entails, and we talked about how it affects us, and we also talked about what it has to do with our lives. And so today we want to look at the challenges related to that homosexuality, or issues about the disorder in our sexuality. As a youth, as a teenager, there are those issues that we have discussed about the LGBTQ, and we have seen that they are not beneficial, or practicing it is not beneficial in our lives. But we want to see the challenges that are related to it. And that's why today we are calling our topic the challenges related to homosexuality. We said that Proverbs 28:13 tells us, whoever conceals or covers their sins do not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces or confesses then finds mercy. In other words, when I know or when I accept the challenge that I have, I am now able to confess. I am not supposed to cover it. I'm not supposed to contain it. I'm not supposed to tell myself, yes, I'm having this, but I'm not going to confess it out. And that is why Proverbs chapter 28 verse 13 tells us, whoever conceals or covers their sin, they do not prosper. So even us as teens and youths, if we cover this sin, then we shall not prosper. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 28 verse 14 that blessed is the one who always trembles before God, but whoever hardens their heart falls into trouble. Now, what are we talking about hardening? Hardening is the act of refusing or not accepting the situation as it is, or refusal to accept and then confess of what you are undergoing. We have realized that most teens and youths have actually been taken up in the umbrella of the LGBTQ, and that is why we are saying, unless we confess it out, we will live in it, and it will surely bring death to us, as we saw in the Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, when the Bible says blessed, a person who is blessed is happy, is fortunate, and it is good to be envied. And then we ask ourselves, when we are practicing the disorder, we call it is actually a disorder in our sexuality. So when we talk of the disorderliness in our sexuality, are we people who are supposed to be envied? Are we people who are happy? Are we fortunate then? Then the Bible tells us that blessed is the one who always trembles before God. When I am acting or when I'm doing something, am I fearful before God? Do I ask God, is the action that I'm just about to pick, or the action that I'm just about to do, is it godly? Am I trembling before God? Because the Bible also says that we are fighting our salvation with fear and trembling. Are you fighting your salvation with fear and trembling? And that is why today we want to look at some of the problems or some of the challenges that pertains practice of the LGBTQ and the disorderliness of sexuality. When a man is moving with another man and a woman is moving with another woman, which we call disorderliness. And therefore, we start with talking about ourselves and our heart. Remember that our heart, whatever is in our heart is to speak. Whatever is in our heart is what our mind tells us to do. And therefore, one of the diseases or one of the problems that we have, or challenges that upcoming challenges in this practice is actually the heart disease. Now, young teens and youth, I do not know whether you would like to go that way, where you will lose yourself and you will have the heart disease. Because how does it come? Most of those that are practicing this sexual disorderliness, they are actually engaged in the tobacco use and alcohol use. The behavior prevalent to the gay men and the lesbians. And you'll find that before they do such acts, in fact, you cannot do such acts if you are a normal human being. There must be some abnormality in your mind. And therefore, that is why we are saying that they practice this with the tobacco use and alcohol use. Some of these things can only be done when you are in alcohol. Some of these things can only be done when you are using or you are in substance abuse. And therefore, that is why today we want to know that our physical health is interfered with. And first of all, we actually interfere with our heart. We have the heart disease because as we continue taking this tobacco, engaging with alcohol use, then even our heart is being affected. And so by and by, you find people collapsing. Well, we are talking about the colon cancer. Anyone who has receptive anal sex are at high risk for anal cancer due to an increased risk of becoming infected with something that we are calling human papillomavirus. Human papillomavirus. And this is a virus that causes genital and anal warts. Genital and anal warts. This one is highly, after the research has been found or research has been done, and it has identified that these people that are practicing this disorderly sex, that is the anal sex, they are having a lot of it, the human papillomavirus. And this virus affects the genital and anal warts. In other words, the girls have the anal warts, and even the men, they have the genital and the anal warts. This is a type of virus that causes abnormal tissue growth. For example, the warts and other changes to cells infection for a long time with certain types of human papillomavirus can cause cervical cancer. That is mostly in women, you will find that there will be cervical cancer. And why are we exposing ourselves to this? Maybe it is because we don't know. And that is why today we feel it is better to talk the truth. And when the truth is spoken, you pick it and then you actually salvage yourself. And so the warts are also a small fleshy bump on the skin or mucous membrane. Now, why are we saying that? It is because the colon is actually where the anal start is where we now enter to the colon. And when you're doing this disorderly or something that is not acceptable, that is practice of sex using the anal, then it means that you are interfering with the tissues that are in the part called the anus. And youth members and teens, we need to know that our body has been made, or the way the body has been structured, everything has a use. And that is why we said ours, that part that is called anus, only used to remove the pee and maybe to fart. And when you start now imagining that you would insert maybe the penis, or you would insert the hands into the anus, then it becomes an abnormality and you disturb the tissues that are around the anal area. Now, this one, we are talking about the cervical cancer, can even be caused by your dirty hands. Yeah, you are even using the hands to penetrate where it is not supposed to be penetrated, and then you realize that you are now causing. You are causing those cells. You are causing the cells to change to the infection for a long time with certain types of human papillomavirus that is causing the cancer. So, teens and youth, watch out. there is that problem, there is that challenge. So whenever you are doing it, remember, you are actually telling your body, my body, I'm giving you a terminal problem. So let's watch out and let's keep it off. This is also a sector where we have found a lot of injury and violence. Injury in that in many cases where you have found people that have been doing this gayism, they actually resort to either one of them is killed by the same person that is calling a friend, or is killed by the people that they are practicing the same with. Come to think about it, how many people, even in Kenya, have we found, and a story ends up like it was violence, it was injury, or maybe somebody is thrown out of the roof, or maybe somebody is thrown out of many flats, and you realize that there is injury and violence in the practice of the gayism and even lesbian, because what they are doing is actually not normal. And sometimes I feel it's like when I know that somebody is going to say or is going to let the cat out of the basket, then I know that maybe they do away with such a person. Or maybe you have entered into a place and you have not, you are not accepting, or you are not able to agree on what they maybe they want, because in most cases you realize they are actually going even 3 people or 4 people in the same rooms. And you realize when you are against this, then it becomes a problem, and later on we hear that you are killed. Then there is a lot of injury in these sectors. So why the teens and youth, why should you expose yourself into such? We are talking like that because we love you. And personally, I have a ministry with the teens and youths, and I would like to have, or we would like, we are praying that Kenya will have a group of youth and teens who will say no to these teachings that have come that are not godly. And therefore, in this injury and violence, we find that violence can also be from an intimate male partner. Take an example that they want to create a family, the way they are saying, and a male has married a male. Do you think that that male will carry the child for 9 months? No. There will be another aspect of a certain woman who has been brought in, and they have had sex with that woman so that that woman can bring up a child for them. And what happens? If the other partner does not like it, then you know that one person will go down. So why are we saying this? We are saying this so that we can protect our youth and our teenagers, so that we are not going to get into this and then we lose you in the long run. So be careful and know that, as we said, we are besieged and we need to know, we need to be informed, and that is why a man who is informed is a man who is forearmed. So because you're now forearmed, you are able to choose whether to go for the injury and violence or whether to do away with it. We also have fitness, the body fitness itself. Yeah? Problems with body image are common in addition in this practice, and much more likely to be experienced on eating disorder such as bulimia. Bulimia is it is just a change in body, such that somebody needs to eat very little so that you can keep yourself fit. In other words, what we are saying is sometimes the people that I've shared with, and I have been having a closer walk with some of the boys who have practiced this, and they are almost coming out of it. And they tell me that behind the part that we are calling anus, it has been so exposed that any time it can, the pee can actually come out on its own. And what are we saying? We are saying that that is uncomfortability, because how do you even move? How do you keep on moving from one place to the other? when you need maybe to carry a pamper so that the pee can actually, when it comes out, you are comfortable. Because if it comes out when you are not prepared and you don't have pampers, then it means that you mess yourself around. So what do? You realize that even at home, parents will actually be wondering, like the boy I was sharing with and I'm counseling, that the parents also came in and they were telling me they didn't know, but they would see some changes in that the boy would eat very little. And the boy began becoming vain because the boy does not want to take some food that is normal the way he was taking, because he is minimizing the toileting, and especially when it is during the day and he's going somewhere. He is minimizing the toileting. So they have fear of gaining weight. Why would you expose yourself in such a way that even your body is not fit? The toileting becomes a problem, that anytime, anywhere, you can release the toilet, the pee. Why would you like to have or subject yourself to such? The other challenges that we encounter in this abnormal practice is depression and anxiety. And we also have suicidal. Those factors, the depression and the peer rejection, they cause you to do suicidal, which we don't want actually to lose you. And therefore, these attempts of suicidal, you have seen them, and many people who have had it harder and they cannot compose themselves anymore. They make it harder for you to be open about your sexual orientation, which can increase stress, limit social support, and negatively affect your health. Then there is the substance abuse. This one actually can cause these suicidal movements because you are not yourself, so you can do crazy things to yourself. We also have the sexual transmitted diseases. These sexual transmitted diseases are like syphilis, gonorrhea, and others that are papilloma and hepatitis B. We have hepatitis A, B, and C, and most of those are killer diseases. So let us watch out, because like the hepatitis B is actually caused by mostly by the saliva and the engagement of contact of the liquid from this person to the other one. And then I would pray that we are not going to kill our generation, the youth members and the teens. Let us not practice this LGBTQ, and let us refuse it with all our might, with all our strength. And as we pray that we do these things for the glory of God. God bless you as we wait for the next episode. I'm glad to have you on board, and my viewers, I am pleased and happy that we are moving together for the glory of God. God bless you.